Right, alright, welcome to Know Knowledge. And I was just talking to Inquisitive on the Jungle Circus video, and he's talking about Kristen Stewart, how he's mentioned as Frank Alexander from the Canaries Islands. These are a real bunch of weirdos in that. And obviously this was a HEX from, I think, 1970s. It basically was about like a murder cult or something. He has the one, did he say it looked like Kristen Stewart? And it certainly does, like, you know what I mean? It certainly does. That's that one, yeah, see? Like, obviously, supposed to be a male, and just look at total lass. Yeah. Looks like a Kristen Stewart, not really. But this photograph, right? As you can see, you know, obviously he's trying to look as mental as possible because he's supposed to be, psychopath killers or whatever in this HEX, right? So trying to look as mental as possible. You see this guard or whatever's looking directly at the camera, so they know they're being photographed. So obviously this one's trying to look as mental as possible for the photograph, right? Now see, it's just a pure lass, right? Obviously that one doesn't look as feminine because it's got beard and that. But of course they're all teas. And again, you know, obviously a bit of an we were seeing the Inquisitive was seeing this one look like the Viggo Mortensen. Looks like a few people actually, like and a lot of different actors and that. But this one's the weirdest one, like, you know, total obviously, total left to him. You know, trying to look as mad as possible, basically, and all this for the HEX, right? And look how feminine that looks, right? Look at the eyes in there. There's a total girl and the lips. Look at the lips. There's a total lass. Here's the HEX, right? It's supposed to happen in the Canary Islands. Like the cane and obviously the canary, like the bird, right? The part of Lower Birth Society, small religious country. The Lower Birth Society, the thing of the Kurd and that. Obviously the lower birth idea is basically a natural birth idea, right? In the Tenerife. It's very interesting, right? Of course, all HEX ideas with this, right? The Tenerife idea, see? Yeah, the Canary Islands and the Tenerife is very interesting because it relates to this Harold Alexander, first Earl Alexander of Tunis. Yeah, this is an aristocrat, right? County Tyrone, James Alexander. It's a need out, you know, gone into the British royal type of idea, aristocrats. And the Tunisia and Tenerife. Tunis is Tunisia, right? Tunis. The Tunisia to Tenerife seem to be like Tenerife, like the Ten Commandments. Right? The canary, the little bird. And there's a feminine there face again, very Kristen Stewart-like. And Jesus Christ orders team to cut out mother's heart, his mother's heart, and near at the war. There's a lot of HEX involved, of course. That's a lass, anyone can see that. The pure lass. And Jonathan Harker, which is the name of the character of Frankenstein, anyway. Right? No, not Dracula, right? So, obviously intended the HEX and disturb and that. Bright yellow canary birds. What's our tea drinkers? Interesting little HEX, like, yeah. My Son the Messiah, of course, it's here. Pure FTM, as we can see. It's more like Kristen Stewart than Kristen Stewart, like, no. Frank. Constant stuttering. Bit of a classic HEX. The transgressions, of course, the trans. The demonic look. No doubt a total HEX. So see that the Canary Islands right up basically a major tourist destination. So you can see maybe the purpose of that around about 1970. Keep a lot of visitors away, right? Probably the natural visitors who they didn't want to come. See here in 1982 the autonomous community of the Canary Islands was established. So not long after that HEX. So obviously they were redoing things on these islands. Of course, a bit of a King James connection with the Spanish colonization of the Americas. And the Spanish idea of Santiago for King James. Island of the dogs, the gods. Canis, of course, is the dog. More to do with the dog than the bird. Of course, Kurds anyway. Cain and the other type of idea as well. You see here going back to Harold Alexander. Right. Let's have a look at Adrian Clarkson there. Harold Alexander again, Earl Alexander of Tunis. And he died. Or maybe he's didn't die like with tenureship in 1969, so that HEX was in 70. Right. So maybe the HEX was done as a tribute to this year. I did die in 69, right? So maybe that HEX was done as a tribute to this Harold Alexander. Yeah. quite a sort of big character for them, like according to the write-up. British Minister of Defence in the cabinet of Winston Churchill. A lot of aristocratic family, the third son of James Alexander. So quite a big, Eton, of course, quite a big character for them. No doubt they're linked to that hex. As we see here, there's one called Douglas Alexander. He's a present day type of MP, Member of Parliament. Transport Secretary. Looks like Billy Bragg here in this one, like. Very similar to Billy Bragg looking at. The you see here, Pinsent Masons. You know what all that's about, right? This is the one I was thinking of when I typed it in. Sir Douglas Alexander, very famous one, and his body was taken back to Hamilton. Like Hamilton, Alexander is again one of the big names, the big aristocratic names in that. He has the baronet. 4th of July, 1864. And so a lot of hex attached to this one. 6th president of the thing has the sewing machines, right? And of course doing the lion's paw type of thing. Short arms, sloping shoulders. Right? And as you see here, married into the Helen Hamilton Gillespie, right? The Hamilton Collegiate, so a lot of Hamilton, of course, jungle sort of well covered Dollar Hamilton, right? This one's Alexander. And with all the Hamilton that they with this Alexander. Yeah. Loads of Hamilton. Of course like in Alexander thing, you got the eel type of thing, like the sort of the eel, the drinker's idea, and the X, the X eel, special eel, drinker's eel, by the Helen Hamilton Gillespie. Douglas Hamilton Alexander. There's a lot of a lot of hex, Hamilton Alexander hex. Of course, the Alexander the Great idea come from this. Must come from his family. Right? What was decoded as Mac, the Mass, the Masons. 323, 336. The father, the Philip and the eunuch. Of course, it's all mythology basically, it's not real or not. The Thracians, the TH race. Of course, like a bit of a Jim Morrison type of figure, you see. Alexander the Great. Douglas Alexander Hamilton. Of course, died